All right, so still a few days out from the fight, but it is fight week. I mean, when do the emotions, the excitement? I mean, you're pretty laid back and relaxed right now. So when does like if it's tension, if it's excitement, if it's nerves, when does that all kick in for you?
Probably have had the nerves there for probably about a week now, but like I've competed for so long, I know what I have to do to kind of like where I need to suppress what nerve, what emotion, and what I need to just kind of let go. Always a little nervous energy makes you, I think, stronger and sharper. So I got a little bit of nervous energy, but I'm kind of relaxed and just ready to go.
Nice. It's been about 5 months since you fought last. Give me an idea. What's kind of been the focus been during that time? I mean, I know there was some situations with where you were going to fight that you had to work through and all that, but what's the focus been on you as far as your development?
Yeah, so I had a little bit of a injury in December. And then, so I was trying to fight again in December, and then I wasn't able to. I didn't have a fight schedule or anything, but that was what I was kind of targeting, and then I kind of got a little bit of an injury. So I was still training, but I wasn't training ready for a fight yet. So took some time, got a little bit healthy, and then pretty much just the same thing. I'm always focusing on just getting my overall game better, my stand-up, my jiu-jitsu, still getting better at my wrestling, and strategy as far as implementing all those together in a different way.
Nice. And this is the first camp you've done with Robert Drysdale as kind of the chief and the whole instructor. How has that changed things for you?
So for my last 3 fights, he's been kind of my main head coach, but this is the first camp I've done pretty much 100% out of Drysdale Jiu-Jitsu, and then with Zenith MMA, and we started our own little kind of team here. I got a good group of guys that are young up-and-comers that remind me a lot about myself, so I'm excited to be a part of their journey as well. So there's still a couple of them are amateurs, Joey McKay and Orlando Sanders, both guys you're gonna have to watch out for.
Nice. You're signed with Titan now. I mean, it's a big regional brand. Obviously, it's on UFC Fight Pass. So I think that might be some more eyeballs. I mean, does this feel like a step up or a step forward?
I don't know what the numbers are. I don't know how many people will be watching, but I've wrestled in front of 20, 30,000 people before, where I think at Iowa Carver Hawkeye Arena, it's guys that it's a bunch of hillbillies just telling me I'm too pretty to wrestle and shit, and it's like all the eyeballs are on me because it's at the dual meet or whatever. So it's not something I'm not used to, and I've always, at least when I'm in wrestling and jiu-jitsu, I've always performed a little bit better under pressure.
Nice. I know you had a handful of fights kind of here at home in Las Vegas. Now you got to go on the road. I mean, does that add excitement to it? Does it add a different feel? Does it affect anything?
Yeah, I don't think it really affects anything. I think it affects timing. I could sit at home and play Xbox while I was cutting weight and stuff, and so now it's going to be a little bit different. But no, it doesn't really affect anything. I've traveled my whole life wrestling, so nothing different.
Nice. What do you know about the guy you're fighting? Not going to be a familiar name to a lot of people. Did you know anything about him when he was brought to the table?
They brought a couple people to the table, and I didn't really know any of them, and I don't really follow the regional scene all that much. And then once I told my manager knows I'll fight pretty much anyone at this point, especially because it's hard to find opponents in the first place. So it's like I'm not going to be pick and choosy either. And I've waited so long, like I've been training for a long time before I even took a professional fight. So I'm in a position where I'm comfortable with anyone. I'm not trying to pick and choose. But no, I didn't really know anything about him, and then I still really don't. There's not a lot of film. He hasn't been super active. But I think he comes from a good camp, and I'm going to be expecting a tough motherfucker on Friday.
You've had some hype around you early in your career, but I feel like now it's been even more. I mean, hell, we published a list, 20 guys who could be a star in the 20s, and I feel like there's more lists. I mean, what does that do? Does that add excitement? Does it add pressure, responsibility? I mean, when you see that, like, there's people paying attention and saying they expect these things out of you, what does that do for you?
Man, it's about fucking time, I think. I've been working too hard for too long. A lot of setbacks, a lot of stuff like that. So I think, to me, it's just about time. And I think I want to, like, the expectations that are there, I want to shatter those, because I think I'm always shooting for the stars. And if I don't reach it, then it's fine. But that's, it puts a little bit of pressure, but it's like the good pressure that like kind of gets me excited.
Nice. I know you'd like to be in the UFC, like maybe even before year's end. I mean, do you feel that's possible? Like, what's it going to take? What do you think? I mean, is it you got to go out there and you got to, get spectacular results? Is it just get wins? I mean, what do you think it's going to take to get you to the UFC?
Hit some slick shit and say some slick shit on the mic too, probably. Yeah, no, I don't know. I haven't had conversations with anyone from the UFC. I know a lot of the media members, a lot of people, a lot of my friends over at Extreme Couture, and then everyone, all my coaches here and my management, I've all talked to them, and I know they know about me, but it's going to just be a matter of time of when they want me. But I'm ready right now, this second.
Nice. I know that you touched on it there. I mean, the fight game, you got to win and you got to look good, right? But I mean, you're the rated R superstar, right? I mean, you embrace the entertainment side of it too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, were you like a pro wrestling fan growing up, or is this something that you've seen in MMA? Like,
Yeah.
what's your take on being kind of a personality as well?
I was a pro wrestling fan growing up, but then also, like, if you come and see me train, and especially like some of the guys, the amateurs I mentioned earlier, they're kind of shy a little bit, and they're like, oh, they're 20, 21, 22, and I'm always talking shit and like messing around and like having a good time and stuff. And that's just how I like to be. I don't like to censor myself because that's just not who I am. And just where I grew up, it's just like we just grew up talking shit and having fun, fighting, wrestling, doing all that stuff. So I think if it wasn't like part of who I was and I was kind of, it would look fake and I wouldn't do it. I'm just really just having fun, and I think I'm just an entertaining guy in the first place. You come and watch me train, hang out with me, you'll see it, but definitely isn't something I'm trying to do because of the results of it. I think if you do that, it kind of just looks cheesy, corny, and fake.
No doubt about it. So for a lot of people, man, it'll probably be the first time they get a chance to watch you fight, you know, being on Fight Pass. So if they haven't seen you, how would you describe your style? I mean, what kind of fighter are you?
Hit, don't get hit. I think I have 4 fights. I've been hit once with an elbow in the clinch, and then that was it. If you watch me wrestle, jiu-jitsu, or fighting, I have a very odd grappling style. I want to say I have good fundamentals, but I can get submissions that I haven't even practiced before. You know, like if I see it, I can get it. And I've also shown some of my fights I have some heavy hands too. I don't want to try not to want to show that too much, but I do have them, and then maybe see something you've never seen out of a wrestler before.
Nice. Another goal, like you said, is to get to the UFC. Hopefully, as soon as this year. I mean, this could be a big step in that direction. So, I mean, when you play this one out in your head, how do you see this one going? How do you see yourself getting your hand raised? Is it going to be some kind of battle where you do get tested on the step up, or do you think you can go out there and do something dominant?
I'm always going to be looking for the finish, but I'm also very patient. I think for having only 4 fights, when I go in, I'm not having a game plan for anything specific or anything. I'm reading and reacting. I'm going to try to find where the person's the weakest and attack that.